Empowering individuals through language. Hello, my name is Isabel Prevost-Aubin, and today I'll be talking about how words can empower people to influence society. Language is a form of communication used in our daily lives, whether it's written, read, spoken, or heard. It allows the expression of opinion and thoughts of various situations or issues. For instance, Fallon Johnson presents the stereotypes surrounding the Aboriginal community from the perspective of a young Métis woman in her radio podcast named Invisible Toronto. Meanwhile, Robert Oppenheimer, one of the scientists who developed the first nuclear weapon, spoke to the Association of Los Alamos Scientists and discussed his proposals about the nuclear field of study. Thus, individuals as communicators should be mindful of their use of language, since words can empower people to influence society. To begin, power can be found within the elements of language, in the weight of the words and the persuasive techniques used. The author's intention will also come into play, whether it is to entertain the audience, create a change in society, or simply to express an emotion. The targeted audience will also influence the tone and the vocabulary of the speaker and will affect the impact of the transmitted message. Firstly, the elements of language can empower individuals. In fact, words are influenced by religion, culture, traditions, and can have various meanings because of this. For example, in Johnson's story, the Aboriginal fighter refers to the young bloodied man who he had fought the night before as an elder. This is a great sign of respect because in the Aboriginal community, an elder is a wise mentor to the tribe. Moreover, Oppenheimer refers to the word scientist in his speech as, yes, people who have made incredible discoveries, but who are just as prone to error as other humans. He also uses a persuasive technique called logos, which is the appeal to logic and to reason, while Johnson uses pathos, which is based on emotions. Second of all, the intention of the author will impact the message and its effect. Both Oppenheimer and Johnson wanted to correct a situation that they found wrong or unacceptable. For Oppenheimer, it was the creation and usage of nuclear weapons, while for Johnson, it was the stereotypes around a minority group, or more specifically, the Aboriginal community. They spoke to minimize the negative impact of the problem for the present, but also for the future generations. Third, the intended audience will greatly impact the delivery of the presentation or the text. Johnson addresses the general public, and thus her tone is casual, sarcastic, and dark, yet often humorous. Her vocabulary is coherent so that all members of the audience can understand her message. With the help of her tone and the use of pathos, she creates an open environment during her presentation, which allows her to approach certain subjects that can be sensitive, such as discrimination. Contrarily, Oppenheimer addresses a group of specific scientists. His tone is formal and serious, and his diction is adapted to the knowledge of his listeners. Moreover, his speech has had a greater impact with this specific audience since the scientists were already involved in this field of study, and some of them may have been in a position that allowed them to influence this problem. In conclusion, individuals should be mindful of their use of language, since words can empower people to influence society. Power is found within the elements of language, such as the semantics and persuasive techniques, and will be affected by the intentions of the author or speaker. Finally, the targeted audience will also influence the delivery of the message and its effect. Referencing to the power of language, Malala Yousafzai once said, "One child, one teacher, one book, and one pen can change the world." Thank you for listening.